My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Friday, March 31, last day of March 2023, and this is episode number 65. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I make 2 episodes a week, one on Friday and one on Monday and one on Friday. And no, you are lying. That's not true. I make 4 episodes a week, 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday, one in Dutch, one in English. So be sure you pick the right one. I would love to share my handwerkperikelen from the last few days with you. Handwerkperikelen is a Dutch word for kind of crafty adventures. I had some crafty adventures, a big one, a quite dramatic one, with my Stria cardigan. I will share it in a minute, but let's start with the weather, because I'm sitting in my knitting office. Also, by day it's my knitting office, and by night it's my bedroom. I made daily episodes in the whole month in February, and I experienced with making little videos in different parts of my house, at the kitchen table, at our couch, and on my spot in the bedroom. And I really love doing that, so I want to keep doing that with my regular podcast episode. But since then, every time there's someone at home when I'm filming my podcast. I live in the Netherlands in our house with my husband and 3 children, and normally they are at work and at school, but the last few weeks there's somebody is sick, or they have a day off, or they have a kind of exam weeks, so they only have to make their exams, and they are at home for quite all day, so they can learn. But I'm not home alone, so that makes it's a bit difficult to film in the general spaces of our house. This is my private space, and also for my husband, but he's not allowed to be there when I'm filming, to be here when I'm filming my podcast. But now I have a knitting office, so it's I can't complain because this is the place to be. And I love this place, but it's at the 2nd floor at the attic, I think you say, and it's raining every now and then. It's raining cats and dogs. I really that sentence I remembered. How do you say it? Uitdrukking we say in Dutch. A sentence you don't want to take literally. So, but I always think in images, and it's raining cats and dogs. It's quite a funny image in my head. That's not really strange, I guess. So I remember that from my high school time. But it's raining quite a lot every now and then, so maybe you can hear it. But it's quite a cozy sound. It is spring, and the temperatures are rising. It's not very warm, but the temperatures are nice. But it's also quite wet and grey. Sometimes the sun comes through, but it's really, I think it's good for nature. I was at my morning walk and I filmed, so maybe you've seen it in the intro. I don't know if I will use that footage. That's what you say, footage, I guess. So I see all the blossoms, all the little flowers, and the green fresh leaves, and it's always very special when there is, I'm looking out of my window right now, and there's a tree, and I don't see leaves at that tree. It's a big tree, but I know within a few weeks it will be all green, and it starts with that kind of fresh green. It's only in the spring, and then the green turns in a more summer green, in a more steady green, and at the end it will be red and yellow in autumn. It's quite nice to see all the colors. So when you hear a cozy background sound, it is the rain. Let's start with what I'm wearing. No, let's start. Oh, I want to start with my mistake. Oh, I had so much fun. I did a sit and knit, no, a sit and crochet episode last Monday because I was so tired and I was having my period and I was not in the mood for all the editing and all the work, but I did want to have a chat with you because I really like it. It gives me so much positive energy and yeah, it's so I also can share my crafty adventures with my family or with my mother or with my friends. But yeah, I don't know. I really love to do it this way. So I was happy that I did it. But when my video was online, quite soon there was a comment from one of you and, which discovered my mistake, and I had so much fun. I told you I had a pickle on my face, but you could all see I didn't have a pickle on my face because that would be quite weird, a pickle on your face. I did know what pickle means, but I didn't realize what I was saying because I had a pimple on my face. It is still here a bit, but it's disappearing, so we are okay now. But I wasn't at Monday, but it brought me so much fun. I was very thankful to the pimple. But what was the case? In Dutch, the word for pimple is pukkel. So I made a nice combination of pukkel and pimple, and it became pickle, and it sounds quite logical, but only a pickle, that word was already used for something else that had nothing to do with a pimple or a pickle. So I do like pickles. Yeah, I do use vinegar for cleaning my face, apple cider vinegar, and it works pretty good. Most of the time, not last week, but most of the time. But it was really funny, and yeah, I'm learning English and I'm practicing, and yeah, I had a lot of fun about the pickle, and I think you do too. So, okay, but what I'm wearing, I am wearing my braided cabled earwarmers. It was a free pattern. I don't know if it's still free, from Jessica Kalwei on Ravelry. And it's originally, it are earwarmers, but I think I knitted it in thinner yarn. I knitted it in a sport weight yarn, so I can imagine the pattern was meant for a DK weight yarn. I don't remember it. I knitted it a few years ago, and I really love wearing headbands to that was one of the mistakes I made my first episode. My pony, in Dutch we call this a pony. But in English you don't call it a pony. But I had no idea. So I was talking about the pony on my forehead, and that my headband was there to keep my pony at its place. That I have ponies and pickles all over. Now I know you can call it bangs or fridges. No, your fridge is in the kitchen. Fringes. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm doing my best. So that's what I'm wearing, and I'm also wearing my Easypeasy ribble shawl, Easypeasy garter stitch shawl. This is an old one. I did put a message on my blog, a blog post with how I did it, but it's in Dutch and it's really easy. It was just, I think, cast on 120 stitches and then increase on both sides until your yarn is until you are out of yarn. I think you say it that way. I struggle with that sentence every week. But it's an old one, and I wear this shawl a lot because I love the shape. I can tie it tight around my neck this way, but I also can wear it a little bit looser. And I love the colors. The yarn is, if I remember correctly, Katia Kathmandu. And I really love the colors, but it is a wool with acrylic blend. And I wouldn't buy it right now anymore. But yeah, it keeps my neck warm for so many years right now. So I am very thankful for this one. I will put it away within a minute, but now I'm quite cold. I'm also wearing my Spencer Penelope. And This is a design of a Dutch knitting designer. Her name is Nienke and her Instagram account is Mooi van Draad. I will link all down below in the show notes so you can check yourself. This pattern is not available in English. Maybe when someone's interested, I can ask Nienke if she has the, I want to say aspiration, but aspiration. I think I mean another word. But if she wants to make it, if she wants to make it in English, but I'm not quite sure. But it's really a nice. We call it Spencer, but in English it's called a vest. But I made it in a superwash merino yarn, and I want to make it in a non-superwash alafosloopy, and I hope I will cast it on tonight, but I will tell you about that later. But this one is a bit too long, so I always wear it on my dresses with the border fold to the inside. And last week with a little thin yarn, I sewn it together. So it's not really, but it's really it's one of my most worn garments, knitted garments, because of the black. It's really a nice basic piece in my wardrobe, and it has little lovely eyelets. A lace pattern, and the only thing is you can see the buttons of my dress through it, but I really want another one in black, and I want it for years, so I promised myself that this would be the first thing I would cast on. I promised myself a week ago, I guess, but I will share in a minute why what has happened with all my knits, and especially with my Stria cardigan. I'm also wearing my Hinterland dress, not made by me, but by a dear knitting friend. And I wear my black one for this whole week right now because I spoiled some coffee on my brown one, and I did put it in the washing machine, and now it has to be ironed. And let's put. I forgot to put my vest down. I'm sorry. So it's on my next to the washing machine, and every morning I don't like ironing, but it's also when I'm doing it, I'm okay with it. It's also nice to see all the crinkles disappear, but I don't think about it through the day, and in the morning when I go out of bed and I will put my clothes on, I don't have the time for ironing. So but tomorrow I have an event, and then I will want to wear my brown dress, so I have to iron it today. So I'm lazy. Maybe I could wear it without ironing. Linen can be a bit crinkly, I guess. It's allowed to be a bit crinkly. Maybe the crinkles would disappear by itself when I wear it. I don't know. Maybe I should have give that a try. But now it's too late. When tomorrow I want to be a bit neat in my outfit. Okay. Yes, let's start with my Stria cardigan. I told you last Monday that I would want to focus on my Stria cardigan because I put it on and it was really, it really made my heart jumping very big and very high because I love it so much. It was such a nice feeling when I put it on, that little cardigan, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, I want you. So I was really motivated to work monogamous, I think. I also had my crochet granny square blanket for the Easypeasy moments when I just wanted a quick, nice thing to do so my hands could stay busy. And the rest of the week I put all my knitting time into my Stria cardigan. And I was enjoying it. There were some problems with the sleeve. I picked up the stitches for the sleeve. I did put a lifeline in it, but it was a bit, the cotton yarn was a bit too thick, and I didn't like it. And I knitted my sleeve with 2.75 millimeters. a few centimeters, and the rest of the cardigan I knitted on 2.5 millimeter, and I always go up a needle size when I am knitting sleeves. But this time the stitches were so much more bigger than the body stitches, and the body was knitted back and forth, and the sleeves was in the round. And the only thing there were two things I was thinking of. The first one, it's a rib stitch, so the combination of a kind of knit stitch and a purl stitch maybe, but it wasn't really like that. The whole fisherman's rib, when you're knitting the body, the row on the right side, you do that special stitch you put in down below, the row below, and the other stitch is a purl stitch. And when you go on the wrong side, you have knit stitches. You knit all the stitches and you alternate those two rows. But when you are knitting in the round, the right side, it's all the right side, of course, but row 1 is that stitch you put in below. Is there a name for it? Is that a brioche stitch? I think it's on the pattern. I don't know. And the other stitch is a purl stitch, but the other row, the second row, you do purl stitches. Yeah. I was a bit distracted because I thought I saw a light. Sometimes my phone, the battery is low. I didn't check it right now, but I can look in the mirror and I don't see anything weird, so I think it's okay. So maybe that was the explanation, that my stitches were wider because of the row with the purl stitches. My purl stitches are always looser than my knit stitches. I think that is a common thing because of the yarn, and I do the Russian purl, but still they are bigger. So I knitted a few centimeters and I thought, no, the stitches are way too loose. So I ripped it out again, and then I put the stitches back on my 2.5 millimeter needles. But for that I only have one 2.5 needle. It's not in the interchangeable set. My set starts with 2.75. So I have a fixed circular needle. So I had to use that. So I had to put all those body stitches on hold and then go back to that. So it took quite some time. And then I knitted. I had quite a lot of knitting time this week, but I knitted on the sleeve all the hours, and it grew. No, I was making very slow progress, and it was okay because I did know it was a fingering weight yarn and needle 2.5 millimeters and a whole fisherman's rib, and it was okay. And every now and then I made a mistake and I had to fix it, but I now know how to fix it, so it was absolutely okay. And every time I put it on, I thought, oh, I'm in love with this, I love it so much, and that was very motivating. So there was no problem. I was enjoying it. I was also enjoying the monogamous process, because I'm not really a monogamous knitter, crafter. I do knit and crochet, and I like to alternate. I really increase my production when I have several things, because when I have a project and it's on a hard point, on a difficult point, or just when you have to pay attention, then my hands are still, and I don't like that. So I want several things so I can always work on something. Yeah. And I did have my granny squares, so that was okay. But then Wednesday night, I put my cardigan on again, because every now and then I want to make my heart jump and they feel the motivation. And suddenly I thought, what am I seeing? And I looked in the mirror. We have that big closet in the living room with the mirrors. I always fit my knitting there, and I saw something I didn't like. And I will grab my cardigan. Vest is the Dutch word for cardigan. So, and I will put it on for you, because I decided this Stria cardigan will not be a finished Stria cardigan. And it's okay. I wasn't even sad. It was okay. because I will knit a Stria cardigan. I really want this in my wardrobe. I am knitting, before I start, I'm knitting with a very lovely yarn. It is from a Dutch hand dyer, Atelier Lindelicht, and it's a mix of wool, silk and rami. Rami is a nettle fiber, a plant fiber, and it is actually a sock yarn. If you can use it as sock yarn with no nylon in it, but all natural. And the color calls Red Tiger Eye, and I really love the color. It is so beautiful. It's really beautiful. So you can see all my body stitches are on hold, and this sleeve stitches are also on hold, and this sleeve, I was quite near to finishing it. Let me get, oh, I love it. I still love it. You give a look. Oh, it's a bit, there's a mirror behind you. So normally I could, so I will, let me see. I have a bit of a weird position now, so I hope you can't see my whole body, but only my cardigan, because I'm standing a bit weird over my chair. Yeah, it's a bit like a squat as exercise. It's good for my muscles. I feel it. Yeah, I really love the fit. I really love the look. I really love the color. But I did the decreases for the sleeve. Here is the last one, and then I only had to knit in round until the cuff, and I was it was going quite nice. I wasn't really satisfied about my stitch stitch definition. About my it was a bit messy, but and I also had quite a line. Let me see here where the stitches were on hold, where I picked up for the sleeve. There was quite a line, and I don't know what happened there. In the beginning, I was a bit afraid that maybe my lifeline caused that because it was too thick yarn. Then I thought, did I make a mistake? And then I'm a bit distracted because I can hear the front door downside, and I'm really expecting some important mail that I can use for making this episode, but I didn't hear the doorbell ringing, so yeah. But I decided I didn't want to go down another needle size to 2.25 millimeters, and I decided, okay, this is what it is, and I will be happy anyway, and maybe it will block out, and if it's really annoying me and it's not blocking out, I can always put a woolly tattoo on it. And I can talk and think together right at the same time. I'm a woman, but I'm not good in doing two things at a time. So now what I was doing was listening. Is my husband bringing my package upstairs? Because he knows I am looking forward to it. And I also know that he would be very, he don't want to disturb me when I'm filming. But I don't know. I don't think it is happening. But what was happening last Wednesday evening, I was looking to my fabric in the mirror and down, so from here, and I thought, is my cardigan pilling? And then I looked, and I had a bit of a fuzziness on the sleeves. I don't know if you can see it, but a little bit of this, a little bit of fuzz, and a little bit of here. And I thought, what is happening there? I do know that some yarns pill, and sometimes when my Penelope cardigans have a little layer of fuzz, it is natural, it is beautiful, and it's not annoying. And I also sometimes have things that are pilling, and it is annoying, but you can, but this was a little bit of fuzz. It reminds me of when I when I was not a knitter in my early 20s. I and I bought cheap cardigans in the big stores, and they were mainly made from acrylic. They also could have that fuzziness layer after a few times wearing, and I didn't like it, and I didn't like the fuzz, and suddenly I thought, I don't want this. And what will happen when I wear it? Because I did try it on a lot, but not as much that you can expect it would pill. It was just only every now and then 1 minute to say oh and ah, and then I was knitting on it. So it was really annoying me, and I felt immediately, stop with knitting this cardigan, because this sleeve took me Monday evening, the whole Tuesday, the whole Wednesday, 2.5 days, and I had quite some knitting time, so it was really slow progress for me. And I'm not a slow knitter, but I'm also not a really quick knitter. I do have a lot of knitting time. That's why I make quite some progress every day. But suddenly I felt really strong, but okay, you have to finish the sleeve, then you have to make the other sleeve, then you have to finish the body, then you have to pick up all the stitches and make a bottom band, and you are not sure how the yarn will work out. Do you want to take that risk? And everything in me was screaming, no way. So I thought, okay, then I stop working on this cardigan, then I will not finish it. I will rip it out, I will use the yarn. I still think the yarn is beautiful, but I'm thinking of holding it double and using it for my Tolstad tee. The test knit I'm not started yet, because I will in a few days, but I am very curious how it will hold up in a stockinette stitch. And also, when you held it double, when it's really not a nice yarn, when it doesn't stay nice and beautiful, it's a little less painful when you have a quick knit than when you have a forever knit. So yeah, it felt really strong, and it's absolutely okay. And I was not really sad even. I still want this cardigan, and I really love this color. And I was looking into my stash, what kind of yarn if I had another yarn, and I do have a really beautiful non-superwash yarn I bought at Wolverhalen, a very lovely yarn shop. I live in the south of the Netherlands, and that's really in the north of the Netherlands, and it's quite funny because the Netherlands is really a small country, but hello, it is driving 2 or 3 hours, and I know that for some of you but that's just a little bit. But for me, we don't do that. We go on vacation there. So, but I have 2 beautiful skeins of yarn I bought there, and that's not enough for this cardigan. But I know my mother is knitting the birch pullover in that same yarn, in another color, in a beautiful green color. So I haven't seen that sweater yet. It's also slow knit for her. So I want to see how it stays up in her pullover. And then I will decide if I will buy another skein, if I want it in that color. But I looked in the web shop, and I saw very nice other color, so maybe I will save some money, and when I visit the shop, I will visit it once we go on vacation there, somewhere there, or maybe I will go a weekend or whatever. Maybe I will buy it then, and I'm thinking about it. But if you have a very good advice, a very nice suggestion for fingering weight yarn, which a non-superwash I prefer, which stays very beautiful, I would love you to let me know it in the comments. Yeah, I don't want to knit on this anymore, but I really want a Stria cardigan. I'm quite sure. Yeah, so that will happen, but not in March. It's the last day of March. Also, sorry, I'm laughing hard about my own joke. it's important that you can love, how do you say it? Love from? Someone's on the stairs. Yeah, okay. It's always a bit awkward to film, especially in English, when your family members are at home. They do laugh at me when they hear me talking. I agree. I also laugh about me. Yeah. So the Stria cardigan won't happen. I will rip it out. I want to show it to you, and then I will use it for my Tolstad tea because I really love the color. It's so beautiful. And then I'm very curious how the yarn will stay. But again, it's not so hard when it's on a quick knit. When it's on a little t-shirt, you can knit in a few days, and the yarn is not really doesn't stay as beautiful as you want it to be. Then it's not so hard as when you have it on such a slow progress cardigan. Yeah, but it was Wednesday evening, and I wanted to cast on a new thing, and I made the appointment with myself that it would be the Spencer Penelope. But I did quite a big order. Yeah. I received some money from my grandfather for my birthday, and I want to buy something special of it. Normally I save it, or I try to live not to spend very much money. I don't have a job at the moment, so yeah, making podcasts is my job. I have an office because it's my job. Yeah, but I have to. I wanted to tell you that. Sometimes some of you ask me, why wouldn't you like to make a Patreon account so we can be your Patreon, so we can pay you for all the things you do? And I think that's very sweet and very lovely, but you absolutely don't have to. I don't do this for the money, but I do receive money from YouTube, and it's quite a strange experience that you can receive money because you are talking a lot about your knitting and crochet and about all the things. I never started. I make podcast episodes for years now, for 1 year in English too, but for years in Dutch. And I started on Instagram, and I think quite a while ago I go to YouTube. And there is a moment when you have 1,000 members on your YouTube channel, then you can be paid. You also can choose not to be, but you can be paid. You have to, when you are uploading your videos, you can put on all the options. I always put them on all. So that's why you see so much advertising during my videos, and I absolutely can understand that it can be very annoying. But I don't see why I shouldn't do it. YouTube gives you a part of the advertisement money they earn. It's I know it's 45 and 55% the divided in that. That's not how you say it, but you know what I mean. I don't know which part the maker receives. It should be 55%. That's my. You know how it works. It's not about the money. But I was quite surprised. Every month I'm quite surprised about the amount of money I receive on my bank account. And I know you have to struggle through all the advertising. You can do no advertising. There's always a little bit advertising, I think. I'm not quite sure, but I do think that. But I put it on all, and I know it can be very annoying. But if you don't like it and you watch YouTube a lot, you can have YouTube Premium. I don't know. I don't have it. I don't bother advertisement. If I want to see someone, I look, and I'm knitting, so I don't care. And if I don't, the advertising is okay when you really want to see somebody, and when you don't want, then you don't have to look. When you don't want to struggle you through the advertisings, don't look at my episodes. That's okay. There are so many episodes without advertising, with also nice people who are telling about their knitting and crochet. So that's absolutely okay. But although I don't do it for the money, it feels a bit weird to say, oh no, I don't need that money, because it's not true that I don't need it. I can use it very well. We have a family, and it's really okay for me to not have a paid job at the moment, but it means I cannot spend money endless. That's not really, there are not many people who can spend money endless, but I have to, in Dutch we say zuinig. We have to be zuinig. We have to be careful with how we spend our money. I don't know, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. So it's really welcome to have some extra money, and it's really that I can do this that I can earn money with something I really love to do and I really like to do is very special. But I have enough money, so it's okay. I don't want to do some extra right now. I don't feel for it. I think when I do something with Patreon or with memberships, I will lose my feeling of freedom, because I do this because I love it so much and not because I have to. And when people are paying me for this, I'm a bit afraid I would get the feeling that I have to do it, and then I would lose my joy in it. So this is absolutely okay for me, and you don't have to pay me. I don't need it, but it is okay when you struggle yourself through all the advertisement. And again, there is YouTube Premium, and I don't have an experience with that, but I did hear some Dutch people, they were very happy with it, so they never have to watch advertisements again. So so maybe I think I can recommend it. But why was I telling this? Oh yeah, because I spend a lot of money. That's where I was going to. I received an amount of money from my grandfather, and I want to buy something from it instead of put it on my bank account, on our bank account. We have it all together, my husband and I. And I really want to have two things. I am thinking about them for months now, and one is not crafting related, and the other one is I want to have a backpack. I have a bag, a leather bag, a shoulder bag, and I wanted the bag for life. So I'm not a person with all different kinds of bags in my stash. I do have, but I really love the idea of one bag, and it's a bit of your personality, and all your important stuff is in that bag. And when you go a day out or you go to the store, you can always grab your bag, and that's okay. And I have a very lovely brown leather bag with strands around my shoulder, but I want a backpack. I want it on my back, because that's when I'm at the bike. I went with the train to the beach last Saturday to meet some knitting friends, and I rent a bike there, and there was no way I could have my shoulder bag with it. It would be very, I'm a bit of a clumsy person, so just 2 strands and safe on my back, that's better. But I only could find a little backpack with all the sweets, in Dutch we call them spekjes, the sweet soft pink and yellow and white things, the candy, marshmallows, I guess. In the Netherlands we do put the marshmallows above the fire, but we also have the spekjes, the same substantion, a bit of different colors and different shapes, but that kind of candy. My 16-year-old daughter has had that backpack, an Eastpak backpack, when she was little and she went to primary school with all that candy, marshmallowy candy on her back. So I had my day out with a marshmallowy candy backpack on my back. I'm a 40-year-old. Well, no, I'm struggling. I'm a 41-year-old woman with a candy backpack. It was a bit sad. I don't mind, but that was the moment I realized I really need a good backpack of my own. I did have one, but it was too small, so I put it away. I sold it, and now I have the same one, a size bigger, and I'm very happy. It's a dark olive backpack, and I can put my water bottle in it, eventually my coffee cup, my sandwiches, my knitting project, my wallet, my phone, my everything, and I'm a happy person. So I bought that one. And the other order I placed was a big one. I did buy a new Chagu needle set. The bamboo one. I am thinking about that for ages. I'm a loose knitter and I am struggling with my stitch definition, with my neat stitches forever. And every time I hear, oh, if you're a loose knitter, you should try bamboo, wooden needles. You should try wooden needles. And I, although I knit every day and I spend quite some time, I think it's hard to spend money on my materials, and it's quite interesting because when my husband is aan het klussen, we say in Dutch, when he's doing things in and on the house with the toys for men. No, oh, it's not toys. And it's also not only for men. You also have women who love it, but I'm not one of those women. You know, a hammer and when you I don't know the words. It's not in my vocabulary because I'm not interested in the men toys and women toys. You have in your barn when you are I don't know the word for zagen, hakken. An axe. You have an axe for cutting a tree. No, and the electric one, and you have a hammer, and you have when you have to put something in. So when you want to hang something at your wall, you have to that thing. Oh, I think the word is very easy. Why I don't know that? No, but when my husband needs something, he buy the good stuff. And he's happy with it, he's enjoying it, and he is happy. I always start with the cheap stuff, and then I realize, this doesn't work, and then I know, okay, I need that brand, and those knitting needles work out pretty good for me. And then I always collecting them in sale, and I never allow myself to spend some money, so I have the good thing, and I'm complete. So I love Chagu needles. They are really my favorite. So I have them all, and I have collected them everywhere. And now in November, I thought, okay, let's buy a set. I should have done that immediately, but I did buy a set when I started knitting, a wooden knit pro set, but I didn't like it. I didn't love the cable connection, and it was just not my thing. So I didn't trust the interchangeable idea anymore. Everybody told me Chagu is different, but I didn't listen. And I thought, oh, let me buy fixed needles because I can do everything on a fixed needle. So now I have all the fixed needles and all the interchangeables. I bought the set, but I only bought the small set. Why? It was so much money. So it frightens me, and I thought, oh, do the small one. And when I was at home, I thought, you have the money, why didn't you buy the big one? And it was so weird. So I did regret that, but yeah. Then I got the idea of the bamboo set. And shouldn't I have bought that one? But I thought the metal ones are steadier, and the wooden needles still are wooden needles. So I didn't know, and doubting here, doubting there, and now to make a long story short, it is already a long story. I had told you the long version, but I will cut it down now. I bought a bamboo complete set, 13 centimeter needle tips, and it's on my way. And I hope it will come today. I did have a track and trace code, but I didn't check it. I like to keep my life a bit exciting. Yeah. So maybe it comes tomorrow, I don't know. But I did bought the bamboo complete set, and now I think I will keep them all. I'm not sure. I will try how it works out. But I was waiting for it, and then I didn't want to cast on my new knitting project because I want to cast it on with my new knitting needles. So I'm waiting for that, and then I was a bit knitting on my blankets. Oh, I'm talking way too long. It's quite late. Oh, I forgot something important. Oh, yeah. Now I think of it now. It's quite late in the afternoon. It's 4:30 p.m. Yes. And normally I film quite a lot earlier on the day, and I am now always relaxed sitting and knitting and enjoying my uploading episodes. But my little niece turned 2 years old today. So I was eating cake with my family, and I visited my niece and my sister. Her husband was working, and I gave her all my handmade presents, the sweater. And my sister was really in love with the sweater, but my niece, she wouldn't put it on, but my sister, come, we put it on, and she was saying, no, I don't want it. When she had it on, she said, I want it out. Oh, so knitworthy. But she forgot it in a minute. Then it was okay, and it looked adorable on her. It was really, really nice. The fit was okay. The sleeves were quite big, so she could grow in it. The length for her body was, yeah, it was good for now, but it was not oversized, not at all. And I did add 1 or 2 extra centimeters. So, and I don't have the right yarn to put some extra length on it, but we don't know how fast she will grow. And maybe she can wear it when it will be a little bit short on a jeans. She can wear it on a dress as a cropped sweater. But it was really adorable. The colors were beautiful on her, and I did filmed a bit, but I don't want to share I'm always a bit voorzichtig. How do you say? Careful with my own children, and also my little niece, with putting them. I don't want to share them on camera. They are private. I want to tell you all about my life, but that part of my life is secret. It's yeah, it's you know what I mean. Yeah. So I did film a bit, but it's quite hard to film a running toddler without I'm not so good at editing that I can blur her face or whatever. So I did film, and she was running all over. I will put it in, yeah, so you have a little bit of an idea. But it was really cute, and she was also very happy with the little doll. And I also gave her a duck. A knitted duck I made when I was a handwork teacher at the Waldorf school, and a little book. So it was quite fun. But that's why I'm a bit later today, because I was doing that in the morning. Yeah, so I have to hurry a bit. I don't know if my episode, maybe they will be a little bit later online tonight. But when I didn't want to work anymore on my Stria cardigan. I thought, what should I do now? And I knitted a bit on my scrappy blankets. You are standing on my scrappy blanket. I always have an interesting construction for my... I have a little standard where I can put my phone in, but it's only so high. So I always build. And I could always put my little closet on a little table, but the table is now downstairs, and now you are on a krukje, a little chair with no back, een krukje we call it, I think. And there's a basket with my scrappy blankets and another little krukje. This one, what's the word for it? Such a thing. We call it een krukje. Yeah. So you are standing on my northeasterly. So maybe you realized, oh, my feet are nice and warm. That's because my northeasterly at your bottom. Enjoy it. I did put my plan together, and I forgot, in Dutch this is called an ertjesplant. So I thought when I translated literally it will be an pea plant. But now I think somebody told me it's an eggplant. But an eggplant is, I think that's the purple vegetable. I don't know. But it's really a nice crochet plant with all the strands and all the little bulbs. And I really want them long. I crochet them with a 2mm needle and long yarns linello. It was in my, do I say it good? Long yarns linello? I'm not sure. Oh no, long yarns crealino, that's the word. And it's 100% linen in a very lovely shade of green. And it was my plan. It was gifted to me when I worked for Lang Yarns. Lang Yarns. Lang Yarns is English. Lang Yarns. But it never became a summer garment. So now it is being a plant. So it's really nice. But I did crochet the soil. I know the word now. Thank you. I do remember a few words. And I was a bit, it is quite a counting crochet job, because you have to count when you are increasing stitches, and you have to count a lot. And because it was quite a big pot, yeah, I didn't do it yet, but it's really nice and motivating to do it, because you can see how it will become. And my plant does look a bit poorly, but it's really, it needs a lot of extra strands. And I'm not sure if it's now standing on the mirrored closet in our living room, and I really love it, but it has to be much more bigger. So it will be a slow progress, but a slow project, but it's really fun to do it. Can you see it? Lovely, isn't it? And it's easy peasy. Yeah. And it's it's absolutely okay. You knit you crochet some chains, and then you make a kind of a popcorn stitch. I crochet 4 or 5 trebles, double crochets. I'm always confused. In Dutch we say stokjes. And then you crochet them all together, and then you chain a bit, and you can play with it. It's not. You can play with the details. Here they are a bit further, and those two are together. It's just as in nature. So I really love doing it. So I will work on that every now and then. And I also. I was a bit bored, and I thought, okay, what can I do? I was still waiting on my knitting needles yesterday. What can I do? And then I thought, I ordered an extra Chaogu knitting needle set. I don't like the Chaogu knitting needle case. It's not my taste. It is good, but it's not my taste. So I put all my interchangeables in a handmade etui, fabric one. I bought from a Dutch maker years ago. It's originally made for crochet hooks, and it's okay. I put them in a project bag, and there are all my knitting needles. But with the interchangeables, the needle points, I'm always a bit scared I will lose them. I've lost one already in the summer when we were on holiday. But I would love the idea to have all my needles, all the needles I own, in one place. So it will be a bit organized, and I can see, oh, this is what I have. But I don't like this etui. I don't like this cover. So I thought, okay, let's personalize it. I do love personalizing stuff. Ding is Dutch. But it was interesting. But because when I was thinking about it, my perfectionist wake up and said, "Oh, we are gonna personalize that. I have some ideas. We will look for the perfect ribbon, and we will make it perfect with all the colors, and we will make it perfect, perfect, perfect." And I thought, oh no, don't go on the perfect way, because I know when we go on the perfect way, there can happen two things. Or I want to do it perfect, and I'm not enjoying the process because I want to do it perfect, and my focus is on the perfectionism and not on the creative pleasure. I'm not enjoying that because I only want to have it perfect, and it will be quite a struggle. Or I want to have it perfect and it will never happen because I'm not a perfect sewer. I'm not a perfect crafter. I'm a bit of a messy person. So I thought, oh no, I don't want to do this perfect. And I realized it remembered me of my knitting book. I also have not a perfect knitting book, an imperfect knitting book, and that works pretty good for me. I started bullet journals and notebooks and diaries, hundreds in my life, and every time when I was on page 6, I thought, oh no, it's not perfect anymore. Now I have to start a new one, and that doesn't work. I never finished such a book. And then I already told once, I guess, but I for Christmas, my youngest girl bought from her own money a knitting book for me, an empty knitting book with empty pages. And I thought, oh, I can't mess up this one, because I want to be a good example for her that things doesn't always have to be perfect to love, to enjoy. So it was no option that it wouldn't be perfect, that it wouldn't work out. So I thought, okay, then let's do it imperfect. And I used all the tape, and I scratched, and I written things down. I noted everything, and I put a bit of this and a bit of that, and I was enjoying it. And it became a wonderful book, and it was messy, but it was perfect. And that was so interesting, and it made me so happy. And I think I just started my fourth. I now have 3 filled knitting books. 3 filled knitting books with all the information, my knitting diaries. I am a person who never finished a diary, who never finished a bullet journal, who always gave up because it was not perfect. And I have 3 filled knitting books already, and I just started my 4th, and it's absolutely giving me so much joy. So I want to do it the same way with my needle case. Just no plan, just do it without, just enjoying it. So I started with coloring, just with a paper pencil, a stift. We call it stift in Dutch. Do I have one here? But it's not a fabric stift, so a fabric pen. So I had to use different shades of brown, but you can hardly see it. And then yesterday evening I thought, I did a little bit of embroidery here. I really love doing embroidery. It's very relaxing and mindful. So I did little brown stitches. I don't know if you can see it. Little brown stitches under and there. And then I embroidered some flowers with a really thin yarn. And then yesterday evening I did these 2 and these are quite nice, but on those spots I always put on those flyers, and they were absolutely a disaster. So I put them away. And then this morning, this afternoon, I want to add a little bit of fabric, but it is normally you have to zigzag your fabric to secure the ends, that it won't be too. In Dutch we say rafelen. But I didn't want to do it under my sewing machine. I don't love sewing. I do have a sewing machine. I can sew, but I don't love it. And I want to enjoy the process. So, and then I thought, I love hand sewing. That's very nice and relaxing. But sewing by machine I don't love it. So I thought maybe it will get a rafelrandje, a bit of a messy border. But I am also not a person with a very neat border. I also am a bit messy, and I love myself. So it's not everything has to be straight and neat and organized. It can be a bit messy. And when it's annoying me, when it's too messy, when the fabric is really, it is not happening right now, but when I use this needle case and it will be too messy and I don't like it, then I cut it off and I will add a new one. But I have all the spots. This is white. I have to color it. But then I realized I don't have to color it when I put fabric over it, because I have other fabrics, and I really love doing it. So it makes me so happy. And I made a little cord for the zipper. I have to make one for that. It's not ready yet, but I really enjoy the process. It's so nice to give your things, the things you make, but also the things you use, to give it a personal touch. I really love to personalize my things, to give them a bit of a Sarah feeling. And it really makes me happy. So an imperfect needle case. Yeah, it's really fun. So I can't wait to put all my needles in it, and then this will be my life. I will take this with me everywhere. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and my daughter brought me something. She was in town this afternoon, and she bought me a little piece of, in Dutch we say amber. Is amber the English word? I've heard that this will work out very good against moths. I do have moths, especially in summer. It's quite easy and peaceful right now, but I think I have a summer vacation house for the moths. In winter they are in warmer countries, but in summer they visit us. It's okay. We have enough space. But I don't touch my knits, please. You can have the couch, you can have all the carpets. That's absolutely okay. But don't touch my hand knits. So someone gave me the recommendation or the suggestion to put some amber between your knits, and then I realized my daughter, her boyfriend gifted her a little piece of amber a while ago, and I was in her closet, and I asked her, what is smelling so nice here? And she said, that's that little piece of amber. And I thought, oh, I really love it. Oh, I don't love synthetic smells, and I think this is natural. I can imagine it isn't natural, but I want to put it in my big box. Within a few weeks, I will put all my winter woolies in a big box. I will wash them and I will put them away all during summer, because I don't want to have them laying down here when our guests are visiting in summer and like to eat in it and like to put our babies in it. So we don't want to have that. So I will put some amber in it, because they don't like the smell, the lady told. So I bought, my daughter was in town. I don't like going to town because it always takes time and it always costs money, and it's always a bit overwhelming. So she was in the store and she brought it with her for me. But now I want several, because I want to put them everywhere, because it smells so good. I really love the smell. And if this works out against the moths, I'm a happy person. So, okay, that was it. I think I won't edit a lot because I don't have the time for it, but I will put in a little video at the end where you can see me with my imperfect with giving me a personal imperfect touch to my knitting needle case. So it's a bit of a slow television if you like, and if you don't like it, you can skip it. It's also okay. But I really enjoyed it. So I will put that at the end of my video, and then I have a very nice weekend. It is Friday night within a minute, and Friday night is movie night here, so I have quite some knitting time. I don't know if my knitting needles will be delivered yet. but otherwise I will crochet granny squares and crochet my plant. And tomorrow I have a nice day out. I have a knitting event with a dear knitting friend of mine, and she organized it, and I can do a little talk with all the people. And in the afternoon, my son, he has a very important rugby game, so that will be very nice and exciting, because when they win, it's very important. So that I'm looking forward to that. Although I don't love. Yeah, I do love rugby, but I think watching rugby games can be hard for the mothers. When you see your child, he's 18 years old, so they're big boys, and it's a very rough sport, a very beautiful sport, but a rough sport. And when you say that pile of young men and your son is under on the bottom of that pile, now every now and then I do this. Oh no. But I'm always very proud when I'm watching. So and at Sunday we have a very nice and easy, relaxed day. I love to do nice things in the weekend, and I also love to have a day with no plans, so I can knit all day and we are together, and it's nice and easy. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I don't make funny mistakes today. And I will see you this Monday. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.